Hello everyone, and welcome back to Maya's Reviews, a book podcast and blog where I review all types of novels. I'm Maya, and thank you for joining me to talk about a book today. Hi guys, it's been a while. It's weird. I haven't recorded an episode in a long time, so it's been really weird to not do that for 2 weeks. If you don't know and you don't follow me on Twitter, which I'm at Maya the Bookworm on there, so if you haven't already, follow me there. I've been on a 2-week break just to, focus on myself, catch up hopefully on reviews, because I've been very behind on reading. I've been in a book slump, so I haven't been able to write the reviews because I can't really write the reviews until I read the book. So I've been kind of struggling with that, and so I thought it would be best if I just took a 2-week break. And I was actually able to read a book in those 2 weeks, and I'm like halfway through another one. So it definitely helped a little bit because I was not reading at all. So it's been nice. But I'm back, episode 23 I think this is, and I'm excited to be back. There are some changes to my schedule. If you've been listening since episode 1, you'll know that I used to do an episode on, was it Wednesday and Friday? No, I started off, I think, I would do an episode and a review on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then I would do an episode on Friday and a review on Wednesday. And now I think I'm just going to do a review and an episode on Friday. And most likely those 2 reviews on the podcast and the blog are going to be on the same novel. But as many of you may know, my reviews on my blog are less... I feel like I go more in depth on the podcast with reviews than I do on the blog. Sometimes I go more in depth on the blog than I do on the podcast. The basis of the reviews is the same. I'm not, on the blog, I'm not like, oh, this book is 3 stars, and then here I say it's 5. That's not what I mean. I'm just saying I add more to what I already have discussed. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now, and just thank you again, everyone, for your patience, for allowing this 2-week break to not be stressful. And I'm hoping for authors who have sent me your novel, thank you so much, and I will definitely be getting on that because I'm finally getting out of this reading slump, so we're fingers crossed we can be productive within the next few weeks. If anything, this is a good sign. I'm recording an episode for the first time in 2 weeks, so we're good. It's still going to be a little rocky, but I'm definitely getting back on track more than I was 2 weeks ago, so that's really good. Besides that, I think... Oh, did I say? Yeah, I already said. I can't remember what I've been talking about, but just in case I haven't said it already, I will post a review and an episode on Friday, and I'll just try to do... That'll be my bare minimum goal, is that I try to get 1 review out per week. And that way I think we'll have reviews with how many books I have to review right now. I think we'll have reviews through January. So, I think that's gonna be the best for me. So that way I can read hopefully a book a week. That sounds like a good goal. I'm a very slow reader, so I struggle a lot with just picking up a book and reading it in one day. So hopefully I can get back on track as much as possible. But fingers crossed. And besides that, oh yeah, if you haven't heard, they think they might have ID'd the Zodiac Killer, and his name is supposedly Gary. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm actually not very familiar with the case. It's one that I'm scared to dive into because I know there's so much and it's just a crazy case. And it's still not solved, and it's been, like, over 50 years, because I think the one cipher took 51 years to figure out. So, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't think, from what I've heard, I haven't really read the articles. I just know everyone's freaking out about it. But if you're more educated on the subject as me, definitely let me know what is going on, because I've been too busy to just dive into it. But I'm pretty sure it's just speculation at this point. Don't quote me, because I'm pretty sure I'm most likely wrong. But I don't know if it's definitely not a solid, like, this is the guy type of thing, which would be awesome. I really hope. So, I'm just saying, I don't know if I buy into, like, he is the one, but we'll see. That was a really interesting piece of news to just overhear, on a random day in the week, it was, so, I don't know. But besides that, I don't think nothing really happened over the 2 weeks I wasn't here, to be honest. I was trying to read as much as I could, but failing, because I've been so busy with, real life things besides the blog and podcast. So, definitely didn't do a whole lot. So, I started, since it's October, and I love October, I went pumpkin picking, awesome. I've been watching horror movies, I've been feeling the vibes. Been watching a lot of Tim Burton, because how can you not when it's October? So I've been just vibing and just loving October. So happy October, everybody. 2 weeks late, but here we are. But besides all that blabber and my excuses and my schedule and just Gary, today, for my return, you guys are going to be reviewing with me. No. I'm going to be reviewing You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson, and I really hope I pronounced their name right. But here we go. There is a content warning. Death of a parent, homophobia, racism, bullying, panic attacks, being outed, and medical emergencies are all a part of this novel. So if any of those are triggers for you or not something you want to read about, maybe this novel isn't for you. Overall, I rated You Should See Me in a Crown 4 out of 5 stars. The plot, setting, writing, and memorability were all 5 out of 5, while the characters were 3 out of 5 stars. You Should See Me in a Crown is an authentic novel about finding yourself, happiness, and a good relationship. In a town where being yourself, even in 2020, is a challenge, Liz Lighty manages to make her prom an event to remember. You Should See Me in a Crown was published on June 2nd, 2020 by Scholastic Press, and it is 336 pages long. It is a fiction, young adult, contemporary, LGBTQ+, realistic fiction romance novel. The book's description via Goodreads, because Goodreads is my best friend. Liz Lighty has always believed she's too black, too poor, too awkward to shine in her small, rich, prom-obsessed Midwestern town. The Midwest, guys, I swear. But it's okay. Liz has a plan that will get her out of Campbell, Indiana forever. Attend the uber-elite Pennington College, play in their world-famous orchestra, and become a doctor. But when the financial aid she was counting on unexpectedly falls through, Liz's plans come crashing down, until she's reminded of her school's scholarship for prom king and queen. There's nothing Liz wants to do less than endure a gauntlet of social media trolls, competitors, and humiliating public events, but despite her devastating fear of the spotlight, she's willing to do whatever it takes to get to Pennington. The only thing that makes it halfway bearable is the new girl in school, Mack. She's smart, funny, and just as much an outsider as Liz, but Mack is also in the running for queen. Will falling for the competition keep Liz from her dreams or make them come true? The depth and liveliness of the characters is incredibly well written, and the story follows Liz Lighty, a black and queer teen whose dream is to get into Pennington for her mom, who is deceased, unfortunately, due to, I believe, sickle cell disease. Liz does her best to fit in at Campbell's High School, where she's an outsider for many reasons. And while this might normally work, Liz now has to stand out if she wants to earn the scholarship money to allow her to follow her dreams. And along the way, she meets Mack, the super cool redhead who also happens to be in the running for prom queen. So one thing that I really enjoyed about this novel is how realistic and sweet Liz and Mack's relationship is. The build-up to their romance is perfect and full of love. Too often I feel queer relationships in novels or movies are flimsy and not well thought out. They're just kind of there to be there. However, this was not the case with You Should See Me in a Crown. However, besides Mack and Liz's relationship, which I'm sure we're all here for, it's amazing. The other characters were not very complex, I don't feel. They all seem to be your stereotypical side characters, friends, and enemies. But with the basic side characters, it kind of made this book have the feeling of watching an early 2000s movie, just much gayer, which isn't a bad thing, but I don't know how I really feel about it. The only side character that I really felt had depth was Jordan Jennings, Liz's ex-friend. The others just seemed to be there just to be there. They were very important for the plot. Her friends are very much a staple in her life, but I didn't feel like they were real people. They didn't affect me as much as Liz, Jordan, and Mack did. Interested in starting a podcast? I bet you haven't heard of Anchor, an app and site that makes it super easy to create your own. Not only is it free, but Anchor also allows you to make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Anchor distributes your podcast for you to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more platforms. Anchor has creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone and computer. It's everything you need all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM to get started today. If you're a fan of Kacen Callender's writing style, then you'll definitely be a fan of Leah Johnson's. It's simplistic yet unapologetically teenager-esque. Not how she writes, but it definitely puts you in the mindset of a teenager, if that makes sense. I'm not saying she writes like a teenager. That's messed up. But no, I'm saying how they write is very much putting you inside a teen's head. And while some may not like the cheesiness and cliche that comes along with prom and teenage romance, I loved it in this novel. I'm not really one for rom-coms, which, not to say this is a rom-com, but it's a romance. It's a contemporary romance. And with your character being a teenager, you are going to have some of that crunchiness and cheesiness because they're teens. So I definitely think for a YA novel, this is definitely more towards lower YA. Like, it's definitely for young adults than it is for 18-year-olds per se, but regardless, I loved it. I didn't care. It was really awesome. The only like I mentioned with my statistics, how I rated everything, the only thing that really didn't work for me in this novel was the side characters, and even then I don't really know how I feel about them, because on one hand I hate not having complex characters, but I feel like it works for this novel, sort of. So, but back to the writing and setting. The novel takes place in 2020 in Campbell, Indiana. And Campbell is just your stereotypical small town, except prom is the ultimate event of the year, where bleach blonde girls claw each other to death to win prom queen. And I definitely think Liz is a product of her environment. She kind of is like a chameleon, right? She just tries to fit in as much as possible. But when her circumstances change, she knows she has to adapt. And that means this time just stepping out in the spotlight rather than hiding from it. And I really think that's powerful. I really enjoyed the plot of this novel, and it was one of my favorite aspects of the book, besides Mac and Liz's relationship, which is complete butterfly in your stomach worthy. I love their relationship, and I can't gush more about them. Otherwise, this will be like a 2-hour-long episode, because I'll just talk about how cute they are and how much I love their relationship and how authentic and amazing it is. If you hear claps in the background, I have this thing now where I just like I like clasp my hands together. I don't know what's happening. I'm like I'm going through it. It's fine. But ooh, that was not good. If my desk collapsed, I'm going to be real upset. So, like I mentioned when I read the description, Liz's dream is to go to Pennington just like her mom wanted her to. And while Liz's mom isn't around anymore, unfortunately, due to sickle cell disease, which is what Liz wants to become a doctor for, to help with that, especially since her brother Robbie also has it. Liz still wants to carry on with her original plan and go to Pennington. And it's only when Liz doesn't get the scholarship to Pennington that she starts to panic. But her brother Robbie insists that she run for prom queen to win the prize, a scholarship which I'm pretty sure was like $10,000 or something. I don't know. That part is a little unrealistic. I've never heard of prom queen winning like a scholarship, but oh well. Regardless, Liz enlists her group of friends to help her, which I'm pretty sure included, was it like Stone, G, Marino, there was another one, I don't know. She had a group of friends, and they helped her. And with the help of her impossibly determined friends, Liz begins to climb the social ladder and step into the light, which is something her introvert self is most definitely not used to. But she does discover, that she does like being herself and being out there and having people see her for once. Rather than just being there in the background. But what Liz doesn't realize is that in a town not too accepting of those different than them, Liz might just find that special someone. Mac is a fiery and enthusiastic redhead who is new in Campbell, and Liz can't help but notice how much she is beginning to like her. And like I said, I love their relationship so much. The growth of Liz throughout the novel is very apparent, and she goes from introvert to extrovert kind of overnight, because she's so willing to do whatever it takes to achieve her dreams, even if it means tearing down a system that benefits the queens of the school. I loved that this novel shows the complexity in one's life. I mean, we all have obligations, relationships, and passions that intermingle. Can you tell I haven't recorded an episode in 2 weeks? Oh my gosh. That intermingle and conflict, and sometimes we have to choose between them. High school is already hard enough, yet Liz has to deal with her future, her present, and her past all at one time. And, she has to make sure she can get into college, spend time with her friends and family, build a relationship with Mac, care for her little brother, and discover herself. And, Liz is just this really, really strong character, and I feel like the events of the novel just make that so much more apparent. because when you first meet her, she just seems like this regular teen. And then as the story progresses, you see that really she is very strong and very sure of herself. And I think she begins to realize that too. And it's something that I admire. I had waited a long time to read this novel. I had it on my TBR, not my physical one, but just my TBR, which if you look on Goodreads, I have like over 1,000 books on there, but oh well. It just grows every single day. Like, it just never stops growing. It's a bottomless pit of books I need to read, that I probably won't, because, you know, I'm gonna die at some point. Hopefully not soon, but who knows. But I had waited a little bit to read this, and it wasn't until a book club I'm a part of was reading this that I was finally able to read this book. So I finally was able to, and it really exceeded my expectations. I had heard it was a good book, but like I said, I had also heard it was very cliche and cheesy and very teenager, you know, really for middle schoolers, you know, stuff like that. But when I read it, I was like, no, this is actually really cute. I really like this. And as someone who's not a huge fan of contemporary novels, I just really feel like they always end happy, except for they both die at the end, but that's besides the point. They always end in a way that I expect, so I'm not really a huge fan of them, but this made up for it in so many ways that it was a good novel, and I'll definitely be sitting there thinking of Mack and Liz for a while. And like I said, while cliche at times, You Should See Me in a Crown is a cute gay romance about being unapologetically yourself, even if the world around you won't appreciate your beauty. And it's, you know, it's also about working hard to get what you want in life and not giving up. And I really think there's so many things in this novel that are really inspiring and really well handled, and it just made me really, really like it. So, I think that's it for this review. Guys, we made it. Oh no. We made it. And then I dropped my mouse. I hit my desk and it went flying across the room. Guys, I made it through a review for the first time in 2+ weeks. Let's go. We did this. I think that's the end of my review, and it was just such a good novel, and I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. So it was a really nice change from going to novels that I had such high expectations for that completely bombed, in my opinion, to novels that I did not have as high expectations for that really exceeded my expectations. It's been nice. And I'm actually very excited because I have a lot of things that I can't confirm yet, okay? But I really, really hope they happen. I know for a fact I'm getting a copy of Quicksilver by Dean Koontz, which comes out next January, and I'm so very excited for that. And there might be other things that I'm able to do that I can't confirm or deny. But I'm very, very excited for the coming months, I guess, because if I'm doing one review each week, it's going to be, from what I have to review now, my Google Calendar basically it just has reviews scheduled every week through January that I haven't completed yet, but we're hoping, fingers crossed. So we'll see, but I'm very, very excited, let's say, for the direction this podcast and blog is going in. I didn't even think I would be doing this like a year ago, so it's cool. If you liked my review, of You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson, which I hope you enjoy it. Please check out my blog, Maya's Reviews, at mayagreviews.wordpress.com. You can also find me at Maya the Bookworm on Twitter, Goodreads, TikTok, BookBub, and Book Sirens, which, by the way, I don't know if I'm going to be posting anymore on TikTok. It's just not as fun for me anymore. It's just a chore at this point. I'm still going to leave my TikToks that I've already recorded up, but I might be making, like, a formal announcement on there at some point this week, just saying, hey, sorry to be disappointed, but I ain't having fun anymore. So, I just run out of ideas of how to be creative with TikTok, so it's not the platform for me, I gotta say. I love watching other people's, but me making them, that's questionable. I'm also on Tumblr at Maya Reviews. If you want me to review your book or want to come on the podcast to discuss a novel, maybe even just reach out to me, you can email me at mayagbookrareviews@gmail.com. I do ask that if you are reaching out in regards to a review request, interview, collab, blog tour, or anything publicity related, that you check out my publicity request page on my blog first and then email me. Thank you so much for listening and happy reading. Guys, we're back!